Once again, it is so wonderful that our beautiful family of old souls are coming together on this particular day, September 21, looking at world peace together and having that as our intention and focus. We're going to hear a channel from Kryon in just a minute, but to help us prepare for that channel, I invite you to join me in a brief meditation. So with that, I invite you to close your eyes and allow your breathing to become slower so that your breath going in is for a count of perhaps 4 or 5, and your breath going out is a little longer, perhaps a count of 6 or 7. And as you slow your breathing, I remind you that this is a safe place that you are in. And I ask you to join me in a visualization, or perhaps you can just feel into it if you have trouble visualizing. In front of you, you are going to see a beautiful bubble of light. And this bubble of light that glows comes a little closer. You may even wish to put out your hand and have that bubble of light now rest itself into your hand. And within that bubble of light is the energy of peace. And we're now going to move that beautiful bubble of light containing the energy of peace into our heart. And you may even wish to place your hand on your heart and feel, sense, imagine, or visualize that bubble of light holding peace has now entered into your heart. It has become a part of your heart. And as your heart breathes in and out with the breaths of your lungs, this bubble now becomes bigger. With each breath you take, the bubble is increasing in size. And as this energy of peace radiates out through your body, the bubble becomes so big that it is released from you and goes out into the field. And I invite you to contemplate right now how many of your brothers and sisters are sending out their bubbles of peace into the field. And I invite you to feel, sense, imagine, or visualize these bubbles growing bigger and then merging together. And as these bubbles merge together, we create one enormous bubble of holding that peace energy that surrounds and blankets our family of humanity on our beautiful earth. And from this energetic posture of being wrapped in a bubble of peace, we welcome in the message of Kryon.
Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. It's a special message today. It's a message I would love to have everyone on this planet hear. For at some level, everyone is sensing it. There's something going on that has been predicted by the ancients all over this world for thousands of years. They have targeted a time of change. It responds to the stars in the sky, to the cosmos, to the wobble of the earth, whatever you want to call it. It's only a few years old, this event. They called it the precession of the equinoxes. We call it the shift of time, where humanity starts to go into an energy that is different from any energy that has ever existed. For humans, for the planet, for animals, it doesn't matter. This is new. And this particular energy is different from any other energies that have ever been here. For it starts to have more light shine on the planet. Now that's a metaphor, meaning a higher consciousness is beginning. And what that means to you, every one of you listening, is that there are things now available to you, both individually and in a group, that you have never had before. Whatever you think are your gifts, spiritual or not, are now able to be enhanced more than ever before. Look around you. Look around you. What's going on the earth right now? Did you see? Did you see? It wasn't that many months ago that the old energy of decades ago, an attempt to revisit it, to pull the earth backwards, it didn't work. In fact, the entire earth, most of it, objected immediately, said, no, that's not what we're going to do, not this time. We're not going to repeat history, not this time. That's new. There's something going on, as you want to say, that people, regular people, all over the planet are feeling. Many years ago, I sat in the center of what I would call the situation in Israel, in Jerusalem. And I said this, this is going to affect everyone here. There'll come a day, I said back then, when the younger people, not the elders, would be in charge of both sides. Maybe 3 or 4 sides, if you want to start identifying who's involved. And they will look at one another and say, what does history have anything to do with today? Can we put history aside and see what we have in common? And what you have in common is family, love, kindness, compassion. If you forget who did what to whom and when. And dear ones, that's one of the new tools. But that's not the big news I'm going to give you. That's just something on its way to fruition. That is going to happen. I can promise you. It's already in the field. It's already happening. At some level, the populations who have not been trained to hate are starting to ask these questions. Why are we stuck in the past? Humanity is starting to ask the same question. Why do we weigh today against what happened before? I'm going to give you some news. What did you hear about God when you went to that, perhaps, which is the place of worship? It doesn't matter who your prophet is. It doesn't matter what the building represents or the name on it. Is it a mosque? Is it a synagogue? Is it a Catholic church? Do you have pastors? What? It doesn't matter. What did you hear about God? And one of the first things you're told is that you're made in His image. Ooh. Now, for those who are literal, you're going to say, well, that means God looks like a human. Let me tell you, all spiritual information is given to you, dear human being, in metaphors. All of it. If you take a look that the words even of the prophets, many of them speak in stories and metaphors, so that their teaching will be pure and ageless. And that was made in his image, means this: every single one, every human being was made in the image of the Creator. And what is that image, dear one? It's love. Made in the image of love. Every single one of you has an eternal soul, and that's where the bubble comes in that you just heard about in meditation. Stay with me, because I want to talk about what's at hand, what's happening right now that is magnificent, that is different, that is beautiful, perhaps that you don't know about, but you're feeling it. Wherever you are, wherever you're laying or sitting, you need to hear this. The prophet Elijah went into the field where he ascended. And in this field, he was being watched by his student. And that student was writing down everything that happened to Elijah. Elijah has the distinction of being such a fine and great master that he even chose the time of his ascension. Elijah, in human form, walks into the field, and the beginning of the ascension process began. And what was written down that happened to him is significant. He turned into a bubble of light, right where he was, right where he stood. That essence of love of God was always there in him. That's what made him a prophet. It was always there. And that bubble started to expand and expand. And the next thing you know, he started to ascend. And the metaphor of the chariot, the horses, it's all there. It all meant something else, dear ones. But you can't get over the one thing. While he was human, while he was on the ground, his bubble showed. And that was really one of the things that in his passing, in his transition, he wanted to show the entire planet. You, all of you, have that bubble here, now. You don't have to go into a heavenly state to find that which is the love of the Creator. It's in you. It's now. It's in that soul you carry. And here is the best news I could ever give anyone today. This new energy on the planet right now, this energy allows you to actually develop what you saw Elijah do in his ascension status. You start to touch the face of God. You can start enhancing that bubble. And when you do, all manner of things start to happen. Infused in you, seemingly, from that soul that you carry with you, are things that were always there, but that now are starting to awaken and develop and activate healing, love, compassion, joy, the wanting desire of loving each other, of being peaceful with each other. Hand in hand, a world starting to awaken to a better time. To work together to say, what can we do that's different in these years that our ancestors never were able to do? The earth is not getting worse, dear ones. The earth is being flooded with light. And in that, the dark things that were always there, they begin to show. Why? So that you, in your enlightened, loving state, can deal with them finally. Deal with them in compassion finally. So this is a world that turns into a light you've never seen before. What about you personally? What happens then? Are there any masters on this planet who you saw that were able to heal others? That was something we saw that was, perhaps you'd say, was a miracle, was divine, and only those who are of a higher spiritual nature can do it. That's not even begins to be true. Dear ones, Anyone can do it. That was the message. All the masters were human before they went away, before they ascended. And all of them showed you one thing. All humanity can heal. What are you doing right now? What's bothering you right now? Are you aware that you can reach out and touch that beautiful love that is yours and always has been? That when infused in your body starts to go and attack the diseases, that starts to affect the joy. You have a reason to live if it's not just to love God or love yourself. Even if you're alone, you're never alone. There is so much activity around you in what we call the guides and the angels that you cannot see, the multidimensional ones that perhaps you say are in the ethers. They've always been with you, and they've always been asking. Perhaps you'd like to see us sometime. Perhaps you'd like to let us heal you sometime. This is now. It's always been available, but now it starts to come. Like the crops, perhaps, start to harvest because the seeds have been planted. This is the age of the harvesting of the soul energy of ascension. This is it. You are here at a special time where your souls begin to touch each other because the bubbles are so big. And all of you seem to be swimming, perhaps, in a pool of love, of compassion, of healing, of understanding. How many of you can project this to a future earth where there are no barriers of hate, where you can say the past was the past and that was an old energy, where all of us did things to each other which were unconscionable, but today we feel differently because today we are more mature. We are able to love and not think about what happened in the past. We're able to do things we were never able to do before. Our children are being taught love and kindness and not history. Our children are being taught the potentials of what they can do. And the hospitals are starting to have fewer and fewer patients. And people are living longer because disease will not attack a sacred vessel. Did you know that? You have vibration that is sensed in a quantum way in your body. And many negative things, viruses, diseases, cannot even begin to get in. What are you experiencing right now? How would you like to have disease just simply leave? Because there's no room for them. It cannot exist in a vessel that is packed with love and hearing the music, perhaps, of the beyond or heaven or whatever you think is out there that comes to you and is singing in your ear this beautiful song of magnificence of your soul. And this is where humanity is going eventually, dear ones. And I'll tell you, this has happened on other planets, and it's happening here. You are at the cusp of it, the beginning of it, so you may not see the magnificence of it. Instead, what you're seeing are things happening on the earth. When light starts to occur, the dark things, they scramble, they scream, they fight, and in the process, more light starts to come in. Humanity is changing. You are changing. Souls are starting to touch each other in ways they never have before. Lineages are starting to see what they have in common and not what history gave them. Dear ones, I say it again. In the most troubled spots of the world, expect the unexpected. In the hospitals all over the world, expect the unexpected. Where light starts to make a difference in health, longevity, peace, and starts to redefine humanity and human nature. That is what is happening today. Can you feel that? That's the best news I could ever give you. An ascending human race, very slowly. These are the times. They've never occurred before. Can you feel it? Can you sense this? Can you know the magnificence of God that is in you? It doesn't matter who your masters were. We're talking about the creative source energy, that which is the beauty, the magnificence, the glory that is in your soul, which is now being passed to you while you're alive on this earth. Arise, dear humans, and know that you are God. I am crying in love with humanity. And so it is.